Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you guys don't know, my name is Gabriel, 21 years old, and I've been working on this channel for about a month and a half now. And in this channel, we talk more about self-improvement, when it comes to working out, dieting, mental things, everything kind of just in the self-improvement niche, because that's kind of what I've been on a journey of for the past 6 months, and I started documenting that in the last month and a half just so I can keep track of my progress and hopefully one day help people in the world just become better versions of themselves. And in today's video, more specifically, we're going to be talking about why boredom means you're winning in life. And what do I mean by that? When you start a new habit, whether it's a business, a diet, a workout, anything that's sort of productive in your life, you get to a certain point where all the the hype about it, like you're excited to start a business, you're excited to start the gym, you're excited to do everything, everything that's good in life. Everybody gets excited to do it at the beginning, but then that wears off. I say usually give it probably like 2 weeks. For most people, that's when it wears off, after 2 weeks. And when that happens, it gets boring. And when it gets boring, you have to sort of just rely on the discipline of knowing that, like, hey, I need to stick to this whether I like it or not, because it's what's best for me. And in those moments of weakness is when you become pretty much like the best version of yourself, or you make the most amount of progress. So that's why you need to just build some hard discipline in your life. No, I'm not going to eat the extra calorie. No, I'm not going to skip the workout. No, I'm not going to go out and hang out because I got things to do. I'm disciplined. I got to work on the things that I promise myself, because that's something also that you can do that a lot of people don't realize is you can literally look at yourself in the mirror like I did 6 months ago. And 6 months ago, I wasn't fit. I wasn't at all looking good. Not that I'm great now, but a lot better than where I started. I really said to myself, what would I do to be where I want to be? Like, what would I give up? What would I do? And I said everything. And I've given up all the bad food. I've given up all the excuses, time wasting that I've had that I did before, and I've just skyrocketed from there, and it's only going to keep going, honestly. And like I said, that's all down to just creating discipline to keep going when time gets boring. A lot of times also people think that you always need to be motivated. Oh, I have to be motivated. I'm not motivated, so I'm not going to do it. Motivation's a myth. Honestly, I don't even feel like anybody should ever be motivated to do anything, because honestly, I feel like motivation is negative. It's bad. Motivational videos, fuck that shit, bro. Like, you don't need that. All you need is hardcore mental discipline, because motivation is just a myth. It's just a myth, bro. Nobody believes in that shit no more. Like, we're in the big 25 and we still believe in motivation. That's just stupid as fuck. You gotta stick to your habits, to your discipline, keep things going. There's a car going by, so fuck. Yeah, like, you gotta just stick to your discipline and just fuck motivation, because motivation never gonna take nobody nowhere. Also, this is why it's very important for you guys to build habits. 5 o'clock, I'm gonna get home, I'm gonna take a shower, and then I'm gonna put on my running shoes, go for a fucking run. Every day at 5 o'clock, no matter what it is. For me personally, I get home a little later, so by probably 7 o'clock, I'm already all cleaned up, and then boom, I go walk for an hour every day. I've been doing that for probably maybe 3 months, probably 2 months. But for 2 months, every day, 7 o'clock, everybody knows I'm walking. In the beginning, everybody's like, man, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, you're going for a walk every day at 7? Like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, I'm gonna do what I wanna do. Boom, every day. Now it's like, people don't say, oh, why are you gonna walk? They're like, oh, it's time for you to walk. Like, it becomes a part of me, And that's kind of like a lot of it's kind of like a tough situation that a lot of people go through, because people look at you differently when you start something that, you know, you're not used to doing. You know, oh, you started going to the gym, like, oh, you're going to the gym today, like, what the fuck? Instead, it's oh, it's your time to go to the gym. Everybody knows that's what you do now. So, you know, like I said, that's why you got to build those hard concrete habits. It takes time. It's not a one-day progress. It's not a 2-week progress. I would say it probably takes 2-3 months before your habit becomes solid, engraved into your fucking blood. Especially if you're doing it every day, it becomes a part of you, you know. And that's something I learned from reading a book, Atomic Habits. I read the whole book pretty much. I'm almost thinking like 1 chapter left, but pretty much done with the whole thing. Gotta like skim through it again because there's a lot of parts that, you know, fade away over time. But it's pretty much the essence of the book is just create strong habits based off what you're good at, what's easy, but not too easy. You know, you can't make everything too easy in life, but make it easy for yourself. You know, if you put your running shoes in front of the door, like, you know you're gonna go for a run. If you set up an alarm to go to the gym, you know alarm times to go to the gym, or whatever it is, but you know you have to do it. So you gotta make it easy, and I'll hopefully be making a review about that book sooner or later, so I'm not gonna get too much into that. And also, last kind of point about boredom meaning that you're winning in life is, let's say you start a business and you've been working at it for 3 months and it suddenly gets so fucking boring, you know. You've been going to the gym, you've been going to diet, and it's just like, holy shit, I'm so bored of this shit, bro. You can just think to yourself, that means it's working, you know, like that means I'm progressing. I'm breaking through the stupid motivation, the hype about getting started. Like, it's how you know you're really actually getting into what you said you were gonna do, if that makes sense. You know, like, oh, now I know that this ain't no joke, you know, I'm actually doing this shit. And that's kind of like I said, it's the breakthrough of you getting started on this whatever journey that you're starting on, that hopefully is better off for your life. And that's kind of the essence of this video. Just like I said, you know, create good habits. How boredom really just means that you're succeeding, whether you like it or not. I mean, hopefully you like it, but it's not gonna feel nice for the beginning. But trust me, you'll thank yourself later for it. I've thanked myself for doing what I've been doing for the last 6 months, and it was probably, like I said, the most boring period of my life. And with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. Keep on grinding, and stay tuned for later. Bye.